I show speed, ignorance be gone. We got to talk about the Pan-African propaganda. Black Americans, indigenous American Indians. This is Kanataway, the fifth great grandson of Nat Turner, one of the greatest American freedom fighters of all time. On my channel, we talk about journalism, psychology, communication, media, and public relations in relation to protecting the identity, the history, the legacy of my lineage in the United States of America. Oftentimes, through these channels, through these mediums, our narratives are changed, but we're correcting the action. These are also the areas of my expertise that I have my college degrees in. Listen. I show speed, ignorance be gone. He stumbled upon some Taino Indians in the Virgin Islands, and they are very melanated, look similar to Black Americans in the United States of America, and they say that they are the original people of the island. The original people, let me say it again, the original people of the island. And I show speed looks so shocked. Let me see your hair. What kind of hair is this? The same hair you've been looking at in the United States of America? Now listen, I show speed is Black American. I do believe he has a grandmother that is Jamaican. When he went on this African tour, before the Caribbean tour, his father told him that he's not African, right? Now, Black Americans, indigenous American Indians have been talking about the Racial Integrity Act of 1924 that reclassified and misclassified indigenous American Indians from Indian to Negro, colored, mulatto, Black. And these terms were not synonymous with being African descent. This was a real law that spread throughout the states, right? Different policies and different laws, right? A domino effect of peril and disenfranchisement. Indigenous American Indians, indigenous Americans were the first enslaved in the Americas and the United States, right? The least amount of Africans came to the United States of America. The majority went to the Caribbean, right? This is what we've been talking about, but let's talk about the propaganda. Now, you know, you have seen I show speed running around with that foreigner Shaka bars, that raw foodist guy who is what he seems to be half white, correct? But he's so pro-African and pan-African, right? And the South Africans are tearing apart Africans in South Africa right now. There goes the unity. But listen, they're on this global African, Pan-African tour, and he stumbles upon some Taino Indians who are heavily melanated, who look similar to Black Americans. And he's so shocked. Now, listen, I'm going to give him some grace because he is young. He is young. But listen, don't believe the hype. This is a setup, not the part about him finding Tainos. No. He was in the United States of America, right? I show speed along with Casanet, who is half Haitian and half Trinidadian. And I remember them going on reservations to the Eurasian looking natives, right? The Eurasian natives, the Siberian Asian presenting natives, racially ambiguous, heavily mixed natives, right? And this was done on purpose. Because just like the Tainos and the melanated tribes, indigenous tribes in the islands, there are many indigenous tribes in the United States of America who are Black American, so-called Black Americans who are Black, and they were labeled Negro, colored, mulatto, and Black on our census records in the United States of America. Southeastern woodland Indians are not the same as Western Native Americans that present Eurasian and Asian. I did a video of Southeastern woodland chiefs. They were on a panel and they were saying they never looked like the Indians. They were saying they never looked like the natives in the West. But this is the history we've been trying to tell people. But how many tribes are there in the United States of America that was reclassified and have Black presenting people? State recognized, federally recognized tribes. They avoided that representation on purpose in the United States of America. Of course, you're going to run into some Tainos, that tribe. You go to the islands, just like the Taino people. They were talking about the other tribe in Dominica, right? They don't want to show melanated indigenous people, period, who look similar to so-called Black Americans. They don't want this history out. What do I mean by they? The Pan-Africans. The people that put together this fucking tour. What do I really think about this tour? Listen, it's a PR stunt. Now, listen, you guys know I went to school. I have a master's degree in communications media with specialization in public relations, bachelor's degree journalism, minor in psychology. It's a great PR move. I show speed is more talented than Casanet. What is the PR move? Okay, well, when you want likability and you want to brand yourself and be the big upcoming thing, of course you're going to go to every place in Africa, go to every place in the Caribbean. You're going to become very likable with different ethnicities all over the world. These people will become your base. Why didn't I show speed bring his family along? You got all this money. You say you a lost African. Why you didn't bring your family along to Africa with you? Make it a whole family thing, reconnecting, right? You got the money. Your father didn't want to go with you because he said he wasn't African. Okay, this is a great PR move for people who want to be likable You get those funds up that way later in life. Everything you're selling to Africans, the Caribbeans, the Asians, the Mexicans, the Native Americans, the white people, everybody's going to buy into you. I see everything from a power play thing. Public relations, marketability. This was deliberate. Now I want you to take a look at this video when Ishow Speed was in the United States of America and he came into contact with a Eurasian tribe, right? And I guess there were so-called black people in his chat saying that, you know, that those aren't the real natives and, you know, whatever they were saying. They just wanted representation, because this is what happens when you don't have representation, when you don't have balance, right? And Ishow Speed was like, put some respect on those natives' names. These are the real natives, the real original people of the USA, right? This is what he said. But there was no representation of black presenting melanated, presenting indigenous American Indians in the United States of America. And they could have found many tribes. But take a look at this video. It's very interesting. Wait. The term African American was popularized in 1988 by Jesse Jackson. Not all black Americans call themselves African American. African Americans interchangeably use African American with black American. Not all black Americans. African American was officially put on the USA Census year 2000 nationwide, okay? It was never ever on the USA Census before that. So listen, take a look at this video and understand the importance of representation.